with Raicilla, we do what's called wild fermentation. And that may sound strange to some people, but if you think about like mainstream tequila or even a whiskey or a bourbon, they put an exact yeast strain in those cooked agaves, let's say, and ferment that process. And that's how they control the flavor and consistency every single time. We don't do that with Raicilla. So the yeast, the microbes that's in the air at Benito's Taberna on his farm, that's what's actually fermenting the agaves and imparting flavor in that. That's what we mean by wild fermentation. We're not
That's
adding a
nice.
specific yeast, it's just what's there. So the flavor from his farm is completely different than the flavor from someone else's farm. So that's where I think a great wine comparison comes in, is because terroir really does affect the flavor of Raicilla. You can have one and another, and they can taste completely different. It's just harvesting agaves and digging them out and cutting them up is a lot of work, right? But the terroir part definitely comes into play for sure.
I would have never thought of that comparison, and I would have never known that they actually use wild yeast to ferment.
Well, I mean, it's again, you have to really be a master craftsman, right? A master distiller and really know what you're doing, because otherwise I mean, you could have a batch that goes bad or inconsistent, or that's the other thing too, consistency, right? Like, how do you do that with wild fermentation, but yet every Raicilla bottle that you make out of that batch tastes the same? And so it's controlled to a degree of that region, but yeah, it's harder to control, and it's just, I mean, they're watching it and they're using certain tools, but some of this is just they've done this for generations and it's been passed down for generations. They know when the agaves are ready to be distilled. They know when the fermentation process is done. They know when the agaves have the right sugar content. They can use a Brix meter, but they can just look at it and see, and it's impressive. That's what I try telling people. And I hate to use the food analogy, but it's like processed foods versus food made from scratch. Like, this is a very like artisan process. And that's why like I need to pay my Ricilero and the people in Mexico making this appropriate prices and be correct and pay them, because they're putting in a ton of work with it. So no, you're not going to find a Ricilla for $20 on the shelf, but it's also an amazing product and it's made in an artisan way, and it's just a lot better for you than incredibly commercialized products too. But when people say, well, why does it cost this much? Well, there's a lot that goes into it, and it's produced differently than just other commercialized product you might see.
Why is it so cheap? When you understand and you appreciate how it's made, you're like, how did I get it at such a good price?
That's right.